Chapter 16. The Morality of Human Sexuality. Done by Ahmed Hiwa. Ahmed Ali, Bashir. Muhammad, Khadija. The morality of human sexuality. Sex is something unmentionable, not to be discussed in public, and seldom between children and their parents, between the young and their elders. Whatever our sex attitude may be, the irrefutable fact is that every individual is born out of human sexuality, either by choice or by chance, by design or by accident. Meaning of sex to the individual. Sexual meaning permeates our bodily presence to one another and makes us more aware of our individual existence. Through sexual meaning we realize that they are ignorant. We feel inexperienced and uninitiated, but the other's bodily presence assures us of full knowledge and revelation. Homeless, we feel insecure, uncertain, and different, yet the physical nearness of the other makes us feel at home, certain and secure. Incomplete, we feel ourselves inadequate, unfinished, and lacking in something accessible to us. Nevertheless, the closeness and availability of the other appears to guarantee a certain degree of sufficiency and contentment. Mutual experience of each other's worth. Sexual meaning reveals each one's value to the other. It unfolds either one's worth or lack of it to another person. As a woman realizes the value of the man she loves. In the sex-love duality, both mutually realize themselves as persons, as us, with dignity and freedom. Sexual meaning makes us aware of our meaningfulness to others. Sexual meaning says, I need you in order for me to realize myself, as you also need me so that you can realize yourself. An appeal for mutual care. In a different vein, sexual meaning invites us to go beyond ourselves in order to bring fulfillment into ourselves and others. If I am to understand myself, I must get away from what I am and divide myself from myself. The trust which true love shows, however, the defenselessness it displays itself, an appeal for mutual care and protection for each other. Sharing each other's being. In human sexual, we find a mutual sharing of selves, mutual self-realization. Life becomes more meaningful if and when we share it with someone we love. We explore the secrets of life and sex. Human sexuality becomes the language of love, and it is considered as one of the deepest forms of human communication. Self-discovery as persons. Sexual meaning makes us aware that we are persons, human beings, and not object or things. Making each be truly himself/herself. In the light of the foregoing, through a genuine reciprocity in sexual love, we are able to understand ourselves as persons and not as playthings ready for mechanical or physical manipulations at any time or place. The happiness that is sought for ourselves alone, explained Thomas Merton, can never be found, for a happiness that is diminished by being shared is not big enough to make us happy. Pain of unrequited love. Loving another simply in order to satisfy one's sexual desires always ends with the pain of unrequited love. This is why mere genital satisfaction or self-stimulation, regardless of how often and how many times, still leaves a person unhappily alone, helplessly shallow, and personally barren, depleted, and empty. Affirmation of situated freedom. Human sex itself a possibility that offers freedom of action. That is, it affirms my situated freedom. I can only act within a concrete situation. In other words, every individual has his/her own right to sex. This is an extension of one's freedom of happiness, of which sexual love, to some people, is the climactic dramatization. But as one's freedom of happiness is not absolute insofar as it is conditioned by other individuals' freedom of happiness. Moral discipline. One's freedom of sexuality should enable him to see that sex implies moral discipline. As long as we live together, discipline is necessary, and there can be no discipline without restraint. One's inhumanity to another. Undoubtedly, there are forms of sex which stifle and wreck freedom. Sex, in other words, can become an obstacle in an individual's desire to become fully human. Commitment and responsibility. In human sexuality, freedom is seen as one's openness to another. This commitment consists of care, concern, and responsibility. For a person who truly loves truly cares. And for one to truly care, one is actively involved in and concerned about the beloved's growth and happiness. Safeguarding the other's value. I respond to my beloved's need, to her security, to her well-being. I am obligated to protect her from any harm that may break self-growth and happiness. Hence, my responsibility consists likewise of recognizing and safeguarding her value, for this value binds us together. Responsibility to and for one another. Responsibility in sexual love means that the individuals concerned are eager and pleased every time they hear a newborn baby cry. Our reaction to new life should be joy and delight. The meaning of responsibility, therefore, in relation to human sexuality always point to personhood, to helping the other realize her selfhood, to really becoming herself. Responsibility in this context also means responsibility to and for one another. Sexual responsibility likewise implies justice. For there can be no love without justice, and no justice without love. Humanizing and dehumanizing. Human sexuality may be either humanizing or dehumanizing. It is humanizing if it enables me to realize myself as much as it brings the other to fulfillment. Both of us attain mutual self-realization and unitive self-fulfillment. Sexual love is humanizing if it is taken as a form of personal commitment and responsibility, a challenge to one's fidelity to love. Human is dehumanizing if and when it destroys a person's honor and becomes a degradation of the other. Dehumanizing in sexuality consists of using the other as a means for my own end.